we think that ULEZ should be stopped? Yes! Do we think that Khan is doing this because he's trying to make money off of us? Yes! Do we think that Khan is doing this because he's brown? Oh, he went there, he went there. Brown card guy.
Hi guys, and today I'm at another Anti-ULEZ Expansion protest at Trafalgar Square. This is promising to be a big one. There's going to be a bunch of speakers here as well, a lot of VIPs and stuff coming along to lend their voice to the growing sentiment against the ULEZ expansion. Of course, we've had that update recently where the judicial review has been approved and that's going ahead. So that's good news, but there's no reason to let your foot off the throttle because there's still a long fight ahead. Still, this is going to be a fun day. Let's go and find out a little bit about what's going on and talk to a few people. What did you race?
I know what you were doing.
I'm fasting today, so I can't eat anything.
Brown card guy. A brown card guy.
Hello everyone, how you all doing? Give me a cheer! Hey! So some of you will know me and some of you will be wondering who's this guy on stage? Is this Sadiq Khan's brother? Well, I'm not Sadiq Khan's brother. I mean, maybe a brother from another mother, but not really a brother of Sadiq Khan. I am Sadiq. I'm the brown car guy. I'm a working journalist and content creator, and I've been covering the ULEZ expansion, the proposal for it, since May of last year. So big plug time, head over to browncarguy.com. I've got a dossier, a compilation of all my content there, everything you need to know about ULEZ. Click on it. Some of you will find it really useful, some of you have already seen it. But the main thing for me was that as a motoring journalist, how do I come at this? What am I looking at here? And for me, it was very important to represent the voice of the motorist. And the motorist is you, me, anybody that drives, or even rides in a car. We are all motorists, right? And the thing about motorists is the mainstream media is not representing the motorists, right? At best they're ignoring it, at worst they're vilifying us as nutters that hate the planet. And this is not true. So from the beginning it was important for me to talk to you people. I've been to all of these Trafalgar Square protests. I've been to Orpington, I've been to Gonley, and I've talked to you guys, and I've talked about the real issues that you're facing, the real hardships in terms of losing your jobs, or not being able to get your jobs, or closing your businesses, or not being able to maintain your car, not being able to care for elderly relatives. All of these are real heart-wrenching issues. And for me, it was important to get these stories out there because nobody else is doing it. So that's what I've been trying to do. And I hope that in some small way, I've been able to do that. Thank you very much. And in fact, I want to hear from you guys now. Tell me, what do we want? Do we think that ULEZ should be stopped? Yes! Do we think that Khan is doing this because he's trying to make money off of us? Yes! Do we think that Khan is doing this because he's brown? Oh, he went there, he went there, he went there. Oh, well, somebody has to go there, right? So listen, I'm going to just touch on this point because I've had so much amazing feedback from you guys, so much support, and thank you so much for that. But every now and then somebody says he's doing this because he's brown, or because he's Asian, or because he's Muslim, right? Can I just tell you right now, practically, you may have noticed, I'm also brown! And I'm also Muslim. And I'll tell you right now, this has got nothing to do with race or religion. This is to do with politics, it's to do with money, it's to do with government, it's to do with ego. God is doing this. God is doing this because he's a bad mayor, not because he's a brown mayor. I can tell you that right now. However, we have to give credit to Khan for one thing. Ask me what that is. What do we have? Look around you. Look at this. We've got people from all over London and beyond, from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all cultures, and we've all come together. Khan has united us! And you know, the wonderful thing about this is that it's us, it's the people. We make London the greatest city in the world. It's us. It's not the mayors, it's not the leaders, it's us. We do this, right? And you know what? Londoners don't like to have the wool pulled over their eyes, because if anybody tries to do that, we tell them, oh, stop it. What do we say? You guys are absolutely amazing. Thanks so much for coming out. I want to big up Alan for doing this. I also want to big up the regular team that has been putting these events together. We've got Chris, we've got Nick, we've got Warren, we've got Phil. Who have I missed? And Kingsley, of course, Kingsley. Brilliant Kingsley. The great team here. We've got the great team that have been doing these events. Ran the big up. Big respect. But most importantly of all, we've got you guys. Make sure also today that you greet one another and thank one another as well for coming here and showing your support and making sure that we keep up with this fight. Yes, the judicial review is going ahead, but don't rest on our laurels, because we've still got this fight and we've got the next fight, which is pay per mile. We're not letting off this. I'm not giving up. You mustn't give up. Thank you so much, everyone. I found Howard Cox from Fair Fuel UK here. Howard, how you doing? And what are you doing here today?
I'm here supporting the Together Democracy's total opposition to the ULEZ expansion. It's no surprise that my 1.3 million supporters also agree. And fundamentally, we're dealing with a very dishonest mayor. He's telling lies and porcupines all the time, and he doesn't need to do any of this. The ULEZ expansion is unnecessary. It won't clean or improve the air we breathe. It'll simply make a lot of money for him.
So what is Fair Fuel UK? What do you normally do?
Well, Fair Fuel UK is a public affairs campaign been going for something like 13 years, and we've managed to actually get fuel duty frozen in that time, because UK drivers are and still are the highest tax drivers in the world. They're an easy target for any government to get dosh. When the Treasury sits down at any budget or autumn statement, what their first thing do is how much can we get off of truckers, white van man and motorists. And unfortunately, we got that same mentality in the London Assembly, led by Mayor Sadiq Khan.
Hi, I'm here with from Twitter handle Politunes. What's your name?
Mark.
Mark, what do? You do some amazing content on ULEZ. I know you keep sharing my stuff. What do you generally do?
I generally follow the London Assembly to see what Sadiq Khan generally does, and then I undo it all.
And do you think that we have made any headway with the judicial review now? Do you think that we're on the way to stopping this thing?
No. Well, I'll be honest with you, no, because he's overconfident with it at the moment, and I'm keeping an eye on what he's doing. He'll always say we're going to do really well, we're going to get through this, and all the rest of it. But it's a load of cobblers, and you know it. Whatever happens to him, Khan has got to go, because not just because of ULEZ. Beyond that, you've got to go beyond ULEZ to see what he's actually up to in terms of TfL. All the money he's spending and the money he's wasting, and most of it he's wasting on his mates. He's done, what's he done now? 2020, just before lockdown, he gave an 82% increase in his staff. But generously offering to reduce the ones paid there to scrutinise. So, he's kind of a law unto himself.
Thank you so much for talking to me.
That's all right. Nice to meet you finally. I love the Mockatan jacket. Look at this Mockatan jacket. It's fabulous. I'm not gay.
I'm here with Councillor Simon Forthrop, and you've got some interesting news to tell me.
Well, I'll be speaking on the stage later, and I'll be making 3 pledges that if I was a candidate for mayor, that should happen. The first is that we should scrap ULEZ, which I think everybody here agrees with. The second is that road pricing should not be introduced. And the third one, which is most important, because Mr. Khan wants this to go through now, and he's not interested in having it as an election issue, to make sure that it isn't an election issue, so he can't avoid it, so he can't dodge it, so he can't be slippery like he is. I will be saying that anybody who is fined or gets a charge for being non-ULEZ compliant between now and when it's scrapped should be refunded in full.
Oh, that's awesome. I think a lot of people are going to vote for that. No problem at all.
The other thing that is worth pointing out, and I will tell everybody, is that everybody in outer London knows somebody who is seriously impacted by this ULEZ change. And that's a fundamental thing. It's not just one or two people, as Mr. Khan would try and paint. Everyone knows someone, and we're determined to do something about it.
And it's much more far-reaching, isn't it? I mean, I've had a lot of conversations with people like, oh, ULEZ doesn't affect me because I have a compliant car. But ultimately, it impacts everybody. There's a knock-on effect, isn't it?
Well, they should be careful what they wish for if they're saying that, because I wouldn't say it's a Trojan horse, but it's not. He's got out of the Trojan horse. He's waving his flags. Road pricing is coming. If you look at his budget and his financial forecast, in 2027, just 3.5 years after ULEZ was brought in, his revenue from ULEZ will be zero. He will make no money out of it whatsoever. So there's only one thing coming, and that is road pricing. And that means it'll be coming for you, for me. I've got a compliant car, but I won't be in 2025 when he introduces road
pricing. Even for EV owners.
Say that again?
EV owners as well.
Yeah, I have an EV car, and even EVs will pay.
The other thing is, this is not just a London issue, because now that you've raised pay per mile, once it's rolled out here, it's going to be rolled out everywhere.
Well, if the government, and sometimes I think the government got a lot to answer for, if they want pay per mile, they should have the to say so publicly, and they should do it, but they're not. They're trying to do it by stealth, and anything that is done by stealth, you know it's being done by stealth because it's unpopular and it doesn't work, and that's fundamentally what's happening here.
Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and it's likewise. And I follow you, as you know, so we're two mutual friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm here with Brian, and Brian is the owner of a 1997 Marcus
Mantara, yeah, that's right. A 4.6 litre Spider. It attends classic car shows. Predominantly the local shows are charity events. One of our local shows has now announced it's closing because of the ULEZ situation. Although it's not in the ULEZ area, they think a lot of their income coming to the charity events is going to be lost because people won't want to bring their classics out and pay £12.50 to travel. And I'm just up here to voice my protest at what seems to be a wrong tax.
But there's another issue here as well, isn't there? And that is the classification of classic cars. And unfortunately, the UK, or certainly our government, has got it wrong, because the international classification is 30 years plus, and over here they say 40 years plus, and that's going to affect so many owners of classics and modern classics in London.
Exactly. As a modern classic owner, it matters to me, and obviously there needs to be pressure put to get that situation restored. The rest of Europe and that recognise that classics are 30 years old or more, and in the UK we've still got that 40-year exemption or whatever, so it needs to be emphasised that there needs to be pressure put on that aspect as well.
Do you think that more of the classic car community could get involved in this? I still don't feel. I feel a bit frustrated. I don't think I've seen enough action yet.
I think there needs to be more of us to voice their feelings on this, and I've explained it to many people as I can. But it's a summer season with car shows. That's where we need to be promoting this information. A lot of people are unaware of it, don't know, or just say, oh well, that's somebody else's problem, not mine. I'm not exactly in the area, but they don't know what's coming. The road pricing, etc., and everything else, it will affect them all, and it's going to have detrimental effect on the value of cars as well, I suspect.
Thanks so much for talking to me today.
It's a pleasure. All the best. Thanks for what you're doing.
So we've got a lot of amazing people here at today's protest, and we've got a lot of councillors. We've got somebody from Sutton and somebody from my home, Brent. Yay. Now I'm going to talk to you in a minute. First of all, Sutton, I'll go talk to you because tell me your name, but also you have an E30.
I'm Councillor Tony Shields. I have a non-compliant E30, which I love to drive very, very rarely, and I don't see why I should be thrown off the road by Sadiq Khan's punitive anti-car,
anti-everything. But you empathise with me because we're both in the same boat. I want to keep driving my car.
We are E30 brothers. We know how wonderful they are.
But in Brent, I live in Brent, right? Yeah. Brent is a Labour council. And they haven't moved anything, they haven't moved against this at all. What can we do? I mean, I know you're opposing this. So
we are. We're very.
Well, tell me who you are first.
I'm Sapna Chadha, and I'm the chair of Brent Central Conservatives. We are campaigning against the ULEZ. It was already brought into half of Brent, and now it's going to impact the north side of Brent. And it's just a very unfair tax at this time, and it's going to affect businesses, owners, and all of us. And we don't want it, but they're not listening. So we are campaigning by leafleting and getting you all to sign the petition.
Can I ask you? in Brent, is there even an awareness of ULEZ and that the ULEZ is coming? I still feel, and ask you the same question, I still feel that a lot of people are completely unaware that this is about to hit them.
Well, no, I think people know it's there, but they think it's already there. They can't do anything about it. So our leaflets are promoting that you can have your voice heard and you have to vote against this by a petition, by coming out on rallies and letting your councillors know. But we're really unhappy about this, and it's going to affect all of these areas in London, and it's just not needed.
And is it worth coming to events like this? Is it worth doing this, what we're doing today?
If you feel strongly about something, get your boots on the ground, go and show. People staying at home, watching the videos, which are very good, by the way. There's nothing quite like being here, and there's nothing quite like showing your support in person. Because what happens with people like Mr. Khan, he will say, I hear what you're saying, but where are your supporters? Where are the people on Trafalgar Square? Where they are here. They are here in seriously big numbers because of the injustice that he is about to impose upon Londoners.
And how can we mobilise more of Brent? Because I still feel there's a bit of an apathy in Brent.
Well, we need to do an event like this in Brent, in Kingsbury, in one of the areas where there's good traffic and footfall, and let people know that we can stop this with our voices.
Yeah.
So let's do that together.
Absolutely, I'm with you. Absolutely.
Yeah,
thanks so much for talking to me, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I found somebody who is from the same area that I'm from, actually.
Absolutely.
Tell everybody who you are.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Mason, originally born in Burntoke, which is not too far from you. Then moved over to Mill Hill, mainly a lorry driver over the years. Plus, in my spare time, I was a semi-pro musician.
And you play in the band in Kingsbury sometimes?
I used to back in the 70s. That was in the Plough in Kingsbury. So that was back in the 70s. But we played all over the capital, basically, and just slightly outside.
So tell me this, how is this going to impact people that do that? People that maybe live outside London but are bands that want to come? Because you have a van that you need to take your kit around.
Yeah, it is going to impact a lot of musicians that way, especially once this starts coming in. If it's implemented on the outer boroughs, I certainly won't be able to come in unless I pay the £12.50 charge. I'm running a small van, so 55 plate, so it's non-compliant. So we don't get paid a lot of money in the.
I was going to say £12.50 is going to really hurt.
It would take a chunk. Plus, obviously the higher fuel charges as well. We have to buy equipment, strings, and so on.
And it's not like you're going to carry your drums and guitars on the tube, are you?
No, certainly not. As well as some of the other small tradespeople, like painters, decorators, and so on. It would be impossible, So they need their vehicle to obviously for their part of their work.
So I'm here with one of the people that's actually putting himself forward as a candidate for the next mayoral election. Yeah. Tell everybody who you are.
Sure. Samuel Kasumu. I was born and bred in the London Borough of Barnet. I used to be a special advisor to Boris Johnson in Downing Street and hoping to be the Conservative candidate for Mayor of London.
So what is the process of selecting the next candidate? How soon can we see this? Can we decide who is the next? Because the thing is, I figure that anybody that stands against Sadiq Khan and says, I'm scrapping ULEZ, is going to win.
Well, firstly, Sadiq Khan has set an incredibly low bar in terms of what it means to be Mayor of London. And so pretty much everybody in Trafalgar Square today, I believe, could do a better job than Sadiq Khan. In terms of what the process is, a lot of that is above my pay grade, bluntly. It's for the party to decide the mechanisms. But what we know is we're going to have a really good list of very good, strong Conservative candidates. We're going to have a good, positive debate about what it means to be a London candidate, and also what it means to have a really clear vision for how London can prosper once again. And then after that process, we're going to have one candidate, and we're all going to get behind that candidate, and we're going to do what London needs, which is have an effective Conservative campaign to replace Sadiq Khan.
So in terms of the motorists, London still needs cars. Why does it feel like, certainly from Sadiq Khan's point of view, that there's a war on the motorists? And can anything be done to reverse that?
Well, firstly, I think it's completely wrong to demonise car owners. Of course you're going to need cars, and of course, if you're like me, you're passionate about making sure your kids can breathe clean air. But guess what? Change is not an event, it's a process. And so the one criticism I have for Sadiq is he's trying to impose something on the people that, number one, the people don't want, and number two, the people are not ready for. And so I think you shouldn't demonise car owners, and also you should work with them. You should listen to their hopes and fears and try and find compromise. And more important than all of that, you need to make sure that the people are the ones that decide what happens in their city. And I think that Sadiq Khan needs to recognise that he works for the people don't work for him. And Sadiq Khan is thinking only about himself. I think personally a lot of his decision making is also about the money, to be completely blunt. We know that he's got a black hole in his finances. We know that he's been wasting a lot of money on things that he doesn't need to, instead of focusing on the core business of all the things that it means to be the Mayor of London. And that's part of the problem as well. He needs to go back to first principles. He needs to focus on making sure he delivers on the key priorities for Londoners, and he needs to make sure that he does a better job at controlling the City Hall's finances.
Thanks so much. Wish you the best of luck, and thanks for talking to me.
Thank you very much. Thanks for speaking to me, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.
So I'm here with Jim, and Jim has a very interesting story to tell me, because we've spoken a lot about the Scrap It scheme. Now, you've got experience from the last Scrap It scheme. You had to scrap a van. What did you find out about that van?
Well, it was non-compliance I was given, and really hardly any time. And it ended up, I just parked it in a lock-up garage for about 8 months, and then in the end I just sold it. And then I sold it to some travellers. Anyway, then I got a message or telephone call, because I'd left some of my paperwork and receipts in the van, from Africa. And the guy was asking me when I'd done the engine or whatever I'd done. He spoke really good English, but you knew he was in that because obviously the phone signal was...
So was the van scrapped, or was you just sold it?
I just sold it. It would have been scrapped otherwise, but it was. I sold it and spares a repair, because I didn't want the hassles of anything. So
the vans, so this is what's happening, is that these vehicles that are supposedly dangerous for people, they're just ending up in another part of the world.
Well, they end up in the same bubble. I don't know about anything, but it's still the same bubble around the planet. So whether it's burning fuel in Africa or Cyprus, because I've known vans to go to Cyprus as well. Yeah, and they go out there and they're driving around the streets of Cyprus. It's like I've got a 2014 Euro 5 Transit Mark 7. Now, that I can't replace. It's a £40,000 second-hand vehicle if I buy a replacement. Now that, if I sold it, the scrappage scene's going to mean nothing, so I'd have to sell it, and it would probably go to either Cyprus, Malta, Africa.
Thanks so much for talking to us.
Okay, thank you very much, and it's a good YouTube channel.
So how do you think today has gone, Matthew? This has been a fantastic turnout.
I mean, this is the best turnout that I've seen of any of the protests. Trafalgar Square absolutely packed, all sides of it. It's just brilliant. I mean, the power and the anger of Londoners towards Sadiq Khan. I mean, he's got to listen. I said it at People's Question Time. I said, listen to the people. Well, the people have been very, very clear today. We've had enough. We don't want the ULEZ expansion. We don't want paper mile. He's got to listen to Londoners.
And we've had some amazing speakers as well today, haven't we?
We've had Peter Fortune from the London Assembly. We've had councillors from so many boroughs. You know, I'm one of the councillors from Harrow Council. We had the brilliant news that the judicial review was granted this week. So
you're the first one that told me that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, fingers crossed. You know, fingers crossed. We are going to get this kicked out, because Sadiq Khan has to explain himself to Londoners. That's what he's got to do, because it's our city. We believe in democracy, and if he doesn't reverse the ULEZ, then the 2nd of May 2024 is the London election, where we can choose a mayor that's going to put Londoners first. London deserves better. We need a real mayor. We need to kick Khan out.
Awesome, man. Great to catch up with you again.
Good to see you as well. Good to see you too. Let's keep going. Londoners, unite, message each other, join each other, send each other messages and get involved. Join our protest, because this is London. Look at the street, absolutely full. That is what London is about. That's democracy. We say no to ULEZ. Yep, we say no to ULEZ expansion. The mayor's got to listen, or he's got to be kicked out.
Hey, it's great to catch up with you, Mike. I know you've been checking out a lot of my content recently as well.
Yeah, it's all wonderful stuff, so thank you for your support for this great cause.
And how have you found today?
It's been amazing. I've been at all of these in Trafalgar Square and in Bromley, Beckenham and Orpington, and the movement is growing. Every day we're finding more and more stuff about how unfair and unnecessary this is. There's no scientific basis for this whatsoever.
A lot of great speakers, right?
There were incredible speakers, and it's good to know that we've got support from other cities, places like Bath and Manchester and Birmingham. It shows that these schemes can be beaten if people stick together.
That's the important message, right?
Absolutely. I mean, It affects me. I've got a 1994 Land Rover that's got an LPG conversion. I run that on LPG. That's a really, really clean fuel. The government says so. That's why it doesn't get taxed so much. Yet Mr. Khan won't recognise it, despite the fact the vehicle's on the LPG register. It's registered on its V5 as dual fuel.
In fact, they're phasing them out pretty much now, aren't they?
Why would I want to run my car on petrol at £1.50 when I can run it on LPG at less than £1 a litre?
Let's check this out. This thing is absolutely amazing. Tell me who you are and tell me what this vehicle is.
My name's Gary, and it's a 1937 45. I believe it's the only one that's made. So it was made as a concept car or a concept firing. You can see where it was going to production. It doesn't really tick off the board. So it was sold to RA Liston in Guernsey, and then went on to serve Burnley Island in Western-super-Mare.
So this was in service?
Yeah, from 1972, sorry, 1937, that's my glasses, from 1937 right up until 1982.
And you think this is the only one of its kind?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
My name is Akira, and I'm here because he's ruining our lives. So say like you're out of the area and you want to go see family. Well, my granddad's just recovering from cancer. He's been very ill lately. So if I go past that line to £1.50, it's got to be a joke, isn't it? So my mum and dad don't live together. They're in the area too. I have to go and see them. But how am I supposed to go past that without paying? But even the mile, it says £1 per mile. I mean, say I was going to go somewhere else and there was £1 per mile. Like Bournemouth, it would be £100 for like 100 miles for like £1 to go there. That's my point. It's just, I hope he sees this. He's going to regret this, all that trouble he's done. Yeah.
Out of the mouth of babes, we hear the truth. This is amazing. Even children know the reality of what's going on. People need to start listening. Good job.
Thank you.
So I want to start with a quick tribute to those boroughs, Harrow, Hillingdon, Surrey, and then my own beautiful boroughs of Bexley and Bromley, the Rebel Alliance. Let's give them a round of applause. There's the line, if you're on that side you may comply, if you're on that side you comply. That's not good enough. And you've got to explain what the flaws and what's wrong with it, and it is okay to say I disagree with this because you're not far right. You're not far right just because you disagree with something. If you're saying this is all about clean air, you're saying that Sadiq Khan is the world's greatest clean air expert. He's not. He's talking out of his backside. I'm sorry. We love you all. Let's take to the streets. These are our streets. Whose streets are they? Whose streets are they? What do we say to you then? We'll see you on the march. Listen, Khan. Thank you very much, everyone. We love you. Thanks for everyone at home. See you all soon.
And you know, we've had some great speakers, we've had some incredible people here getting involved. It's just brilliant. And it's not over yet, is it?
It's not over yet. No, we're going to take a little walk down the road now, so hopefully everyone will follow.
And it's not over yet. It's very important to remember, because even though there's a judicial review and everything, it's not over yet. We need to keep the pressure up, and also because we know what else is coming, and that could be even worse. So we need to keep going.
Absolutely. Road user charging is definitely on its way, and people are going to have to wake up and realise that there's no such thing as being compliant. You can't comply with tyranny. If you comply with tyranny, tyranny takes over. You've got to fight back.
Absolutely. Keep the fight up, Kingsley.
Thank you very much, Brown Cargo.
Well done.
See you later, buddy. Take care.
Awesome. Phil, what an amazing day it's been. I think this has been the biggest crowd so far.
It was huge, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Great speakers, great atmosphere. The weather was brilliant. Are we doing this again?
who knows? I think there's a few things brewing in the background. So yeah, I think there's definitely something coming. I think Wallington tends to be springing up because obviously with Kingsley Hamilton down in Wallington, myself coming from there back in the day, that's where I started from.
Right.
The anti-ULEZ. So Wallington, I think, is going to be the way to go.
Okay, and I'm trying to push for something in Brent as well. So a lot more still to come. A lot more still to happen. Fantastic effort. Well done, you guys.
And to you.
And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. And more to come. Stay tuned. And the ULEZ fight is by no means over.
Thank you very much. All good.
The police are here waiting for me. Can't leave the white van with anyone close to me,
Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video as well if you can. And while you're at it, check out these guys who also sponsor my content. I am deeply grateful to them because it helps me to buy new equipment, put fuel in the cars, and yes, buy a cup of coffee. You can do the same. Just go here or right here on YouTube. Just hit these three little dots down here and click on thanks. Make sure you're signed in first. My content is free, but this is how you can help me keep it that way. I may even send you a gift. Oh, by the way, watch this next.